What's up, guys? It's real cold and rainy outside, but I'm bringing you a video anyway. Let's get into it.
Welcome back into the channel, everybody. If it's your first time here, my name's Luke W, and I cover a ton of different helpful tutorials and helping you guys learn how to sell on Amazon. So if you're interested, please consider subscribing to my channel. And in today's video, we're gonna be covering the top 5 advantages for working with a supplier in the United States versus working with someone in China, overseas, going through Alibaba. What I'm also gonna do at the end of this video is jump behind my computer and show you guys how we can actually find suppliers to work with in the United States, so stay tuned for that as well. Before we jump into this, I have always used Alibaba because I found that the price points are very low. I haven't had a problem ever with communicational barriers dealing with those suppliers overseas. They've always been able to customize my products, and these are gonna be things in the US that may be more difficult. A lot of suppliers in the US aren't able to specifically customize and make certain molds and maybe even put a logo on your product. But with that said, there are huge advantages, and I'm gonna cover them right now. So the first awesome advantage to having your products being made in the United States is just that. Being able to put on your listing, made in the USA. Having that in your images, having that elsewhere sprinkled out throughout your listing is gonna help you differentiate and stand out from your competitors. And anyone who says their products are made in the US, but they're lying and they're actually coming from China, they're gonna be found out, because on every product, there is a made in China sticker that is certified and has to be on there. So if Amazon notices that, they may shut your listing down, and you just don't want to mess with that. Another little spin-off on this idea is also the fact that if your product's made in the United States and you're supporting a particular cause, for instance, supporting the veterans, that could be a real huge thing. So let's say you're selling a tactical flashlight and you're saying your product's made in the United States and 10% of your profits are going to go support veterans. Imagine being able to say that, and you have maybe in your images section some cool images of you and what you've done to help support a certain cause. So those are certain things that maybe you can't do if your product's coming from overseas. It just doesn't make sense to do that. All right, now the second massive advantage to having your product made in the United States is the certifications and the quality of your product. Now, I actually ran into a problem with my own suppliers in China who didn't have the correct documentation, and they had to go out and spend $3,000 and certify their product in the FBA database in the United States just to be able to have my listing be able to sell on Amazon again. You will find yourself a lot more fortunate if you're able to find a US supplier, because they honestly have to abide by every kind of crazy regulation that they need to abide by when selling their type of products. So a simple way to mitigate that problem, and what I'm gonna do in the future with working with overseas suppliers, is just to simply ask them, hey, do you have this certification? Do you have the battery information Amazon wants for many electronic products? The battery composition if you're selling a product with batteries. So you wanna make sure you're asking your suppliers if they are overseas, if they have all appropriate certification, and have them send you documents of that with their company name at the top in the letterhead. So when we're looking at the quality of a product, we know already that things in the United States are seemingly already made better. We just expect that. And when you're working overseas with suppliers, it's kind of hit or miss. You do need to message, 5 to 10 different suppliers, get pictures, get videos, get all the relevant information you need from your supplier to make sure you're getting a quality product. So you may want to order a sample if you're working with overseas suppliers. I haven't had to do that because I've really investigated my suppliers in and out and made sure it's good. But in the US, you probably won't have to worry about quality control issues. Now, advantage number 3 to working with suppliers in the United States is a no-brainer, guys. It's communication. And if you want the best communication with any of your suppliers, you just need to go drop a thumbs up on this video and you guys will be set for life. No, I'm just kidding. But anyways, of course, working with United States suppliers, they're gonna be having their native tongue being English. So if you speak English, it's gonna be really easy. They're in the same time zone as you compared to suppliers overseas. I live on Pacific Standard Time on the West Coast here, and my suppliers usually won't message me back. Their morning time is like 7 p.m. for me, so I'll get messages at 7 p.m., but don't be too worried about that. I recommend sending a message to 5 to 10 suppliers over on Alibaba, see who gets back to you the fastest and with the best English grammar. Now, the fourth best advantage to working with suppliers in the US is definitely gonna be the shipping costs. And one thing not a lot of people are actually talking about is how deeply discounted the UPS shipping rates are when you make a shipment inside of Seller Central. It's absolutely insane. I shipped out a 90-pound box from my house of inventory I had laying around here, and it cost me $20, okay? If I was to ship a 90-pound box across the country like I just did to a friend or something, and I didn't have Amazon helping me out with the UPS partnership, I would have probably paid like $300 to $400 or something like that for that shipment. So working with suppliers in the United States, you'll be able to get extremely huge discounted shipping rates. Not only that, some things other people are talking about are the tariffs. I haven't had any issues with that, and it's only for certain products that you'll experience tariffs. Just ask your supplier if you're working with someone on Alibaba if there are tariffs on the product. And usually, actually my supplier said, we just need to make your order into 2 orders. So it looks like they're 2 smaller payments, and then I wasn't charged any tariffs. So those suppliers can work ways around the tariffs, I guess, but I haven't had any issues so far with that. Also, your lead times are gonna be faster, where it will take your Chinese suppliers like 2 to 3 weeks to get you inventory from China. You may experience like 1 to 2 week lead times for your suppliers to be able to manufacture and ship out products depending on the complexity of them. But again, like I said, your US suppliers may not be able to customize your product as much as they will be over in China. And you may not have as much variety of manufacturers, which I'll show you when I jump behind my computer, as you will with suppliers over in China for the same type of product. Now, the last advantage, number 5, is a simple one. It's just having a more trustworthy person to work with. They're in the United States. They're held accountable to a higher standard. They're not 5,000 miles away. They're right here. They're on the same time zone. They have a phone number. They're able to speak English. They're just more trustworthy to kind of work with, but they can be more spotty and hit or miss, and their prices may be more expensive. But in the end, I would recommend getting a quote from your supplier overseas and then a quote from a supplier here in the US. And ask them how much it's going to cost for the product and shipping. Ask both parties for that information, because you may find the shipping more expensive in China, but the product in the US may be more expensive. So see if that price comes out to be pretty even in the end, and you may be able to work out a deal with someone here in the US instead of dealing with someone overseas. So let's hop behind my computer. I'm going to show you how we can actually find suppliers in the US to work with and find our Amazon FBA products right now. All right, so now that we're back on my computer, I just want to make this short, sweet, and simple for you guys. So the first website and database you guys can go to help find your US suppliers is going to be thomasnet.com. Now, if we come down to the search bar here, we can simply select between suppliers, all, or products. I'm going to click on products and type in boxing gloves, and we'll see what else comes up here. There's a lot of suggested searches, but you can see right in here, I'm not seeing any boxing gloves, and I just want to tell you guys right up front, like thomas.net and the other website I'm going to show you, Wholesale Central, which you can just type this in on Google. These are big databases which do have US-based suppliers, but if I come over here even, boxing gloves, you know, these databases are not necessarily the best. Right away, we actually do get some results here, 144 matches for boxing gloves from 13 different suppliers. I'm not even sure this kind of looks like a picture, so you got to make sure this is definitely actually boxing gloves here. So only $8.50 per unit. So you guys are able to see this is Young's Trading, this is Rocky Trading Co. for $14.95 for a set of gloves. We can come in and pretty much click on any image we want here. So from Young's Trading, these are made in the United States. You can see their address up here, and they do have a phone number. They're based out of San Antonio, Texas. They're out of stock with this current model. But this is something where you guys can give them a call during their business hours and say, hey, are you able to customize these? When are you going to get these in stock? They are made in the USA, so that is pretty good to see that. They're based out of Texas. And pretty much you're able to see Puerto Rican imports. So technically that's a US territory, but you can kind of get the gist of this. This is maybe even a little bit better than thomasnet.com. But if you guys don't have that much luck with any of these databases, I'd recommend you come over to Google. And what we're going to be able to do is actually put in some special keywords here. So I'm going to type in boxing gloves, and I already did it before. So boxing gloves manufacturer. And you'll see Alibaba shows up, thomasnet.com shows up, Made in China shows up. So that's another big supplier that is made in China. And you can see they have some certifications down here, which is pretty good to see, at least off the top. So this is kind of a lot more difficult than just going over to Alibaba, where you're literally able to type in boxing gloves and there you go, $5, $10, $12, custom made, so you can custom make your own ones right here. This is honestly what I would recommend doing, but if you're shipping a very heavy product or something, maybe you want to look more in depth. You can always play around with other search terms like boxing gloves, U.S. suppliers, and we'll see if any other cool links show up that we haven't seen before. Rival boxing gear, so this could just actually be a website. I'm not sure. Yeah, all orders over 75 bucks, free shipping. So that's just a real actual website. You could also come up and say boxing gloves, U.S.A. wholesale. And we'll see what we come up here. So DHgate, that's also another Chinese supplier website. Title boxing, wholesale boxing equipment, made in the USA. Okay, so here we go. This is something like the website you might find on thomasnet.com. You may be able to come down and contact them, but since you'd be ordering a larger quantity of inventory up front, they may be able to work out a specific deal with you if you're ordering 200 units. So maybe you just find a normal website and you can still reach out to them and say, hey, I'm looking to buy a bunch of units in bulk. Is there any way you can give me a huge discounted price since I'm buying such a large quantity? It never hurts to ask. But again, you want to make sure they're able to maybe put a special logo on your product so you can actually build your own private label brand. Again, in the end, guys, I would still recommend going with Alibaba with some normal type product like this because US suppliers aren't really able to differentiate and customize your products as easily as suppliers over in China. But if you're trying to find some US-based suppliers, check out some of these databases and try doing some Google searches with different keywords, and I wish you guys the best of luck. So again, if you found any value in this video, please drop a thumbs up, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks a lot. Peace out.
Thank you for taking the time to check out my video. My name's Luke W, and I wanted to give you the opportunity to check out my Amazon Seller Pro course, which is going to give you a step-by-step blueprint on how to set up your own Amazon FBA business to start creating a passive income stream right from the comfort of your own home. If you want to check out that course, it's going to be linked right down below in the description box of this video, and you'll notice I also released a product research module separate from my full step-by-step course, which will take you, if you have literally no experience, on up to developing your first private label product with my help and availability at your service whenever you need to ask questions or need some advice going further with your product ideas. So check out the Amazon Seller Pro link right down in the description box, where you'll also find my Instagram and Facebook, where you can send me a message and we can hop on a phone call if you'd like, and I can walk you through kind of more the process of what it really takes to sell on Amazon. Thank you guys again for watching this video, and I will see you later.